So today was pretty lackadaisical, not gonna lie. From what I remember, I woke up at around 9:30 a.m. and I walked over to the kitchen. I went to the oven and I thought to myself, I want some more of those cookies. So I turned the oven on to 375 degrees. And because it was going to take a while, and because I had the day off and didn't really have any plans, I went straight to bed and went back to sleep. Eventually, I woke up, and when I got up, I got a pan with some parchment paper, got the oatmeal cookie dough out, rolled out 6 balls, and put them on the pan, ready to get cooked. The oven was all heated up by the time I woke up about an hour later, 10:30, and I slid those cookies into the oven. They were good to go. Had to wait a little while. While I waited, I decided to go to my room and hop on that CRT over there, trying to find something entertaining to watch. I ended up finding this video where these two British guys were talking about this Family Guy video game, and I think the series was called Bad Video Games, and they were basically just playing the game and like talking about like how much they did or didn't like certain aspects of it. So they mostly sounded very unenthused and annoyed the whole time. And there were some pretty shocking jokes in that Family Guy video game. Like, dang, they were pretty edgy, weren't they? I was never a Family Guy person, by the way. Yeah. Anywho, I just find it interesting when people like talk about that stuff because it's like old stuff that like hasn't been touched in a while, and so people return to it to kind of re-experience their memories and if to see if it was good or bad. I always find that very fascinating. So eventually, the cookie alarm went off. I went over, took the cookies out, gave some to our family friend. They asked me about the internet, so I paid my portion and sent it. I asked if they wanted a cookie. They said yes, so I gave them one. And I got a cookie myself. I brewed a cup of coffee, much like the one that I'm drinking right now at 12:55 a.m. for some reason. Very bad idea. Don't do that. Probably stay away from caffeine before you're supposed to go to bed. Maybe that's why I have difficulty sleeping. No, it's definitely the reason why I have difficulty sleeping. Anywho, I should probably get decaf or something. Anyways, moving along. I went into my room and I continued watching that Family Guy video game playthrough video. I found it very mildly amusing, but at a certain point, I was getting kind of fatigued from watching it. So I paused it, and then I decided to try jumping on to listening to a podcast while just walking around the house. I was listening to the Digital Foundry latest podcast. They were talking about the newest Doom, the Dark Ages DLC that recently released, and basically saying how even on consoles it is such a smooth performer that it is one of the best looking and playing games of the generation. So that was pretty cool to see, their professional opinions and how they were talking about that, and that was cool. But then I started to get mentally overwhelmed. So I felt like, okay, I watched that video and I'm listening to this, and like I feel like I'm just stockpiling a lot of information in my head. What am I going to do? I feel so mentally overloaded. So I decided to turn the podcast off, and then I decided to talk with a AI chatbot about like ways to like de-stressify or deload my mind, which feels like it was like too much going on. And basically it said, well, you go for like a hour long walk. I was like, okay. So I went for like not a full hour long walk. I went for only a 40-minute walk and without any headphones, just in nature, or as natural as a neighborhood can be, I guess. Um, and yeah, it did help calm my mind down, I would say. It was freaking out, but you know, stress levels were lowering, so that was nice. Eventually, I returned home, and when I arrived home, my mom was there, and she had bought some groceries and needed my help bringing some of them in. So I helped out. I brought a good amount in, and we put them away. And then she asked me if how things were going. I said they were going good, and she said she tried to call me, but she couldn't. I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" So I look on my phone, and I find out that my auto renewal pay for my service did not activate, and so I missed out on paying the service, all because my the automation system that the company that I'm subscribed to, the service providers, it did not glitched out, which meant that, like, even though I had a $5 discount per month because of my continuous subscription auto pay support, that was not applied because I looked up my text and it said, "You have changed your services in the menu, so therefore you don't get the discount." And I'm like, "What? I didn't change any services." I said, "Yes, I would like auto pay draw from my account," and boom. But for some reason, it said I changed my services, and I did not. So I had to call customer service. I told them my complaints, and they gave me my discount money back, and said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll make sure that doesn't happen again." So yeah, um, I tried to ask them why it happened. They said, "Oh, it was a glitch." It was like this guy was like saying, "Oh, I'm trying to be as nice and accommodating as I possibly can." It was a pretty interesting ordeal there. Well, anyways, after watching that, I suggested to my mom, "Hey, maybe we could finish that Y-Files episode we were watching yesterday." And she was like, "Sure." So we went over to the television and we continued watching the Y-Files episode. We finished the train episode, or it was the campfire stories. There were 3 stories on there. There was the train portion, the lady going in the train and, like, coming out and in the station she'd never heard of. Um, so we already watched that one. And then it moved on to this weird, weird story, which was in the middle, where it was this, like, I remember watching this creepy, scary video back in, like, the mid 2010s, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is scary." And it was like this guy who was, like, drinking soup, and there were these creepy looking, like, dudes in these, like, costumes with, like, big bulbous, like, cartoon heads, walking and, like, looking like they were, like, patting him on the back, and, like, they wore complete black, and, like, except for, like, their big oven mitt hands and their ginormous heads. And the guy was like, who was eating the soup, was like, had his eyes blacked out, and he was like crying as he was eating the soup. It was a really creepy video, and it was basically the whole video was an investigation by AJ Gentile, trying to get to the bottom of where this came from. And ultimately, the final conclusion is that it was probably some big performance stunt that was done by the creator of the characters that appear in the video. But because it sort of took on a life of its own and became this internet urban legend, he decided to not comment any further about it because like, I don't know, maybe it's because the video is creepy and maybe he didn't want his professional career, where he works mostly in children's entertainment, now being associated with that edgy part of his life, or maybe like he thinks that the mystery adds to the spookiness of the video. Either way, it was a really interesting video for sure. Ooh, there was that creepy second video where the, like, two mascot figures were in the background of the room watching the guy eating the soup, and one of them started running towards him, and then the camera immediately cuts like, ooh, it's creepy stuff. Just thinking about it makes me like, ah. But anyways, moving along, the last video of that Y-Files video, Campfire Stories, he was talking about this lady who eats like, who did these mukbang videos. I honestly don't understand the appeal of these videos. Like, you watch someone eat a bunch of food and there's like ASMR, so like the microphone's like up close to their mouth and you hear all the goopy and like sloshing sounds coming from their, it's disgusting. I don't really know why people out there watch that kind of stuff, because to me, if I'm like, eating, and apparently this is what people say when they're like trying to defend why they enjoy mukbang content. It's like, well, when I'm eating and then I have the screenplay of someone else eating, it's like I'm eating with them. I mean, I don't know about that. Like, I wouldn't want to be eating while hearing disgusting sloshing sounds and watching someone eat grotesque amounts of food in front of me. That would just destroy my appetite. If you want to go on a fast and not want to see food as something delicious, then just watch a mukbang video, and it should take any, appeal of food right out of your mind, because they do a good job of making it look unappealing. But anyways, the whole section of this Y-Files video was basically AJ Gentile talking about how there was some weird spooky stuff going on, where apparently if you isolate audio and you hear the background, you hear like a male voice in the background saying, keep on eating, keep on eating. And like the lady in the video, you only see up to her like mouth, and like the rest of her face and nose is covered in like a mask. But it's like cut off by the camera angle leaning down, and it's just like so creepy. And like, and throughout the video, like you see like sores and like bruises on the lady's arms, and then like you see like what looks to be like bruises around her lips, and then she tries to explain this is, oh no, this is a cold sore. And then as the series continues, like there's like text saying, no guys, I am not a hostage in this situation, this is not true. But then if you see like certain words are capitalized in the messages underneath as she's eating, if you spell them out, it's like SOS, and like as she's like tapping the bowl, like it's like Morse code that like means send help or something like that. It's a really creepy, scary video series, on top of it being really gross because it's mukbang. Even my mom said, yeah, that's perverse, only perverse weirdos like that kind of stuff. But anywho, the video, the weird thing is, like, after 2019, the series ended, but then like it came back for just one video around like 2022 for some reason. And then like the lady who recorded for 2022 looks different than the lady from 2019. And people think it's like a UFC fighter or something for some reason, even though like they don't really look that similar at all. But yeah, very weird thing. People even sent FBI and like, investigations on this to see if like they could apprehend the person involved in it, because the comments being written in the video and underneath the video don't really like, they feel like they're written by like a ghostwriter, someone who's trying to maintain a face of the channel, but not the actual lady herself. Although, we don't know for sure. All I know is it's creepy. Could it be live action, like role play? Maybe, but I don't know. There's some sick, twisted stuff that happens on like the internet, so it could really go both ways, honestly. Like, I'm surprised people had launched like a real severe investigation, but yeah, very, very strange. Anyways, that was the last video. After we were done watching that, eating the sushi, having the soda, then I was like browsing through different videos. Like, I watched a few Dr. G videos with my mom of like, he was talking about I think like the Mitch McConnell photo that was released, where like he was speculating, oh, was this AI generated? I put it through all the AI generation detection technology, and no, it doesn't say it's AI generated. However, the cover story letter that was written underneath the photograph definitely does seem AI generated. So there's that, which is interesting. Um, yeah, he basically believes that like the Mitch McConnell guy is very feeble and not fit to continue running in office again. He's like in his mid 80s now. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like if I was getting up there, I would want to retire at least in my early 60s, and enjoy the rest of my life. Why would I want to continue like sitting in a chair, like, you know, in the Senate making laws? Like, that doesn't sound like my idea of wanting to spend my golden years. Like, that seems so like a waste of time to me. Like, I'd rather just let like new faces do that, and I can, enjoy my retirement. Like, I wouldn't want to worry about like making decisions like that impact the country, that like, and plus like the guy's in his mid 80s, like I feel like if you're making new laws for the country, you need young blood, people who are newer generations, who are more in touch with the, how the world's currently where it's at, right? Like with technology and stuff. And having someone who's like literal grandpa in his mid 80s making important decisions where he's probably very out of touch and doesn't really understand what's going on just seems like such a weird thing to me. Like, why are you trying to continue holding this power when at the end of the day, you probably are so out of touch with how things are actually run or how everything works, and you probably don't even know what's going on. At this point, it's really just like, hey, I have power. Look at me. I'm important. Hoo, hoo, hoo. It's like, it's weird. I don't understand why, like, people stay in the Senate for that long. Like, we have term limits for presidents. Why don't we have term limits for senators? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, enough of that political rant. Moving along. Never thought I'd get political in these vlogs, but I guess there you go. That's probably the last time I'm going to be political. Like, I'd rather focus on just, things that, like, I can control rather than things I can't. Because, at least I have some form of agency, I guess. Or, no, or not, I guess, but I know. Yeah, there we go. That's better. I have some form of agency that I know I can control. Moving along. So after we're done watching that Dr. G video, my mom wanted to watch some, end time prophecies, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to my room because I wasn't really interested in watching that. So I went into my room, and when I went in, I remember I was like, what happened when I don't know why. I don't remember. I think I went on my bed and I took a nap. Yeah, I was like, yeah. Then I got a knock on the door from my mom, and she told me that she was off to work again. It was like, okay. And our family friend arrived again. They told me that they had signed in for a new, job, and that they start soon. I'm like, oh, well, that's good. And then I asked them, hey, would you be interested in going to get a pizza? And they were like, sure, let's go get that pizza. So I made a call. I ordered this pizza from Papa John's, and me and our family friend went to get it. I remember before we went to get it, like, I asked if it'd be all right if I could take a picture and do a little superhero video using AI with my family friend. They agreed to it, so I took the picture. I made the video where they say it's time to fly, and they like jump through the window and start flying off into the sky. I showed it to them and they thought it was hilarious. Then we drove off, picked up the pizza, we drove back home. Family friend asked if I wanted to watch something with them. I was like, nah, I'd rather watch something in my room. They're like, okay. So I got 2 pieces of pizza. I got the garlic butter, and then I went into my room, and I found out that there was a new video released by one of my favorite YouTubers, Simeon Jimmy. It was the Vincent series, but it was apparently the movie. I'm like, oh, did he record an entire movie? But that's kind of cool. So I clicked on it, and well, I gotta be honest, I was a little disappointed because it was basically just every episode of the series stitched together. So I was expecting like, oh, did he like, was he creating this grand finale to the series, like where it's going to continue where the last episode left off, but it's going to be like a big epic adventure or whatever. Ooh, I'm excited. Let's do this. And no, it was basically just the entire series, like just with all the episodes stitched, and then with there was actual new content like for the last, I think, 5 to 10 minutes, or more like 8 minutes of the movie, which was really just a compilation of all the episodes. And basically, it was like a really artistically done way to cap off the series, where it said 5 years later, and it shows like the Vincent character with really long hair looking grumpy, and then putting on like a vest that, well, let's just say would give him a very explosive look. I will put it that way. And then after he has his explosive look, we then cut to him jumping out of the fridge, and when he looks up, it's like the modern day, and the entire world is populated, and he ends up running around and going on like, the Adventureland, or like an amusement park, and like goes up on rides and stuff. And yeah, that was pretty much the end. So I think what it was implying was like, it was really just one long nightmare that Vincent was having in his head, of making videos for the one true God in the video series. And him finally having it, and then when he wakes up and then gets out of the fridge, that's when he realizes, oh, that was all just a bad dream, and hey, real life ain't so bad after all. Like, I originally was going in this fridge to wait until everyone followed my beliefs, but you know what? Having multiple beliefs while still having multiple people around is a-okay by me. And he goes around and enjoys like the sun and all that. I thought it was a pretty interesting way to end the series. I was a little bummed out though, because like the whole point of the series was like, Vincent was supposed to review every single like religion and talk about it, and like the whole gimmick was like, ooh, there's this character called the one true God, who's the real God, that ended up going to sleep before like all humans made tools and stuff. And then he wants Vincent to make 50,000 episodes of his review series and give him ever regenerating powers, but Vincent doesn't want that, because like he'd rather just like leave. But the one true God's not having it, so like it drives Vincent to madness. So yeah, that's pretty much the premise, and I was really hoping that like I mean, I wasn't expecting him to actually do 50,000 episodes. Can you imagine like just I actually looked it up online how many religions there are, and I think like Google said there was like, man, I don't remember, so I don't want to misreport like a number, but I said it was less. It definitely was less than 50,000 religions. So technically he wouldn't be able to even do the actual 50,000. So, but even so, I think any normal person would probably be driven to madness if they made a video about every single religion on planet Earth. I mean, I wouldn't blame him for ending the series like that, like in the artful way he did. But hey, he felt like he told the story he wanted to tell, and now he's moving on, which I respect. Anyways, after watching that, and I tried to see if there was any other videos I hadn't watched from Simi and Jimmy. I decided to watch the MVP video where he reviews this movie about like a monkey who is a hockey player. And then he gets into like this epic like review battle with this guy called the Weekend Warrior, where Weekend Warrior reviews the movie called Air Bud, while Simi and Jimmy reviews the movie MVP. Where it's and they basically compare their movies and talk about why they think theirs is better, and it's pretty funny. And then after that, I remember I was done eating my pizza. I actually had 4 slices with A&W Zero Sugar and the garlic butter. And I remember I decided to continue watching one more review from this Simi and Jimmy Monkey box reviews. It was talking about a movie called Dunstan Checks In. And he said it was the greatest monkey movie he'd ever seen. And then I kind of got tired and fatigued again, like, the brain fog mode. So I just went on my bed and I was like trying to rest up a little bit while listening to different I'm forgetting exactly. Oh yeah, I was like doing deep dive research on different monkeys and like how intelligent they were, like orangutans and stuff like that, because I found that really interesting. Eventually I decided to get up. I found out there was a new video from the YouTube channel Blame It on Jorge, where he talks about the top 30 lost video games, or missing video games, and then he posts that online. And he did in collaboration with a lot of his friends. So I decided to check that out. That's actually what's on the screen right now. I think I'm like a good few. Hold on one sec. I'm 29 minutes into the hour. Oh, it's exactly an hour long video. What do you know? But yeah. So yeah, I was watching that. It was like halfway through. It was like, oh my gosh, it's starting to get late. So I went out. Okay, as I was watching it, I finished the last 2 slices of pizza that were available. Pan fried them, with this special method where I put the pan on cover, heat it for like 2 minutes, and then once it's heated, I get some water, pour it in just a little bit, and cover it, like so the steam from the water hydrates the area of the pan, and then I put the pizza in there, and it crispifies the bottom and melts, and the moisture from the water steam melts and remoisturizes the pizza on top. And you do that for like 4 minutes at low medium heat, and you end up getting a very nice crispy bottom crust that's not burnt, and a nice melty flavorful topping. So yeah, a little lesson for anyone who wants to bring life back into their old pizza that they've had lying around for like a day or two. But anywho, I was eating that. Then for dessert I had the oatmeal cookie, the last one, and a cup of coffee. That's 4 oatmeal cookies I had today. And then I was like, oh, I need to make my update video. So here it is. Today is trash day, so I need to take out the trash before going to bed. I also need to brush my teeth and take my vitamins, not in that particular order. I think I'll probably take my vitamins, brush my teeth, take out the trash, and then go to bed. Hopefully before 2 o'clock. That would be preferable. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, everybody. Take care.